Welcome to Align. I'm Paul Galloro, Somatic embodiment guide and your spiritual companion. This podcast is where we attune to the energy of the moment and align with the sacred rhythms that are within us and around us. So this is your space to reconnect to your body, your breath, your truth, and to move in harmony with the current of life. My loves, let's begin by taking a deep inhale through your nose. And just exhale through your mouth with a sound if it feels good. Take a moment to arrive. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you're moving around, feel your feet on the ground. If you're sitting in a chair, just feel the seat beneath you. Feel your body just as it is. Tender, present, alive. And now bring your attention to your chest, the space around your heart and your lungs. Let your shoulders soften and take another deep breath in. Notice your chest. Notice your lungs as you breathe and you let your breath deepen. This here is the realm of the sign of Cancer. The chest, the lungs, this is where we hold care and love and, yes, even grief. So if it feels good and if you're able to right now, just place a hand over your heart, just on your chest, and feel the space. And you can leave your hand there if you want, or bring your hand now to your abdomen, your stomach, your gut. Let's let it be exactly as it is. So this is your the center of your emotional knowing. This is where we digest not only food, but also feeling. And so now from your abdomen, from your stomach, bring your attention, your awareness down to your lower abdomen. So this is energetically the space of creation, of nourishment, and sacred holding. These are the parts that speak to us during Cancer season. So pay attention to these areas during the season because they may be speaking to you. They may be asking for your attention, for your softness, for your care. And my invitation to you is to stay connected to these spaces as we go through today's episode. Something that I noticed, especially the end of June, beginning of July, and honestly, I've been noticing this since my school days, and I'm not not so from very young age, I noticed that at the end of June, beginning of July, I would always get a little reflective, a little pensive, a little introspective. In the beginning, I thought it was because, school was coming to an end and I was going to miss my friends and school. And, summers weren't very exciting for me. When I was in sixth grade, or the summer going into sixth grade, is when I started to work with my father on construction sites. Wasn't very exciting. All my friends were going out to play and have fun and do different things. And I was going to work. That carried on into high school. And then I went to go get a job when I was legal age to work. And I would notice it then too. And again, I thought it was just like, because I would have to leave school and go to work. Even when I was in college, college would end up in May, but still, for whatever reason, at the end of June, beginning of July, then I thought, okay, my birthday is in August. So maybe I'm just getting reflective of that. But no, I started to realize that I was becoming more emotional and more pensive and more introspective at this time of year because that is the energy of Cancer. So let's do a quick review because Cancer now, we start a whole new season with Cancer, right? So it kicks off summer, but let's take it back to the beginning of the zodiacal wheel with spring. At the spring equinox is when the whole astrological new year begins. And in Aries is the time where we start to plant seeds. By the time we get to Taurus season, those seeds have rooted, they've cracked open, they've started to set roots, and we start to bring things into form. We start to see things springing from the ground. And then once those things are well established, thanks to Taurus season, Gemini season is where things start to reach out and we begin to connect and we start to interact. If you remember a few episodes back, I started to talk about how in nature we see things buzzing around, everything's connecting, everything's busy, hustling and bustling. And now in Cancer season, we're starting a whole new season. And it's a time to nurture not only ourselves, because we've been busy through spring, not only do we nurture ourselves, but we begin to nurture the things that we've grown. So they're well established now, and it's time to work on the root system and continue to nurture that growth. So the sun moved into Cancer on the 20th of June this year, just at the very last couple of hours of the day. And the sun will be in Cancer until July 22nd when it moves into Leo. So let's talk about the Cancer sign for a second. It is the first water sign that we meet on the zodiacal wheel. So we started off with Aries, which is fire, Taurus is earth, Gemini is air, and now Cancer is the first water sign that we meet. It's also a cardinal energy. If you remember back a few episodes, I talked about cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Cardinal energy is that startup energy. And so Cancer and the Cancer season initiates a new emotional cycle. Cancer season arrives at the point of the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. And this is the point where the North Pole is tilt the closest to the sun. And it's a marker point. It's not really an astrological transit. It's just like a point that we use kind of to measure where we are. They're like measuring sticks through the year. The sun crosses the northernmost point in the sky. So on the 20th, the sun was at the highest point in the sky that it will be all year. And now the light, the sun, starts to sink lower and lower in the sky. So we had the longest day, and now the light begins to slowly turn inward. Cancer is also ruled by the moon, and the moon is the keeper of the tides and moods and rhythms and memories. So this is all the qualities of water. Yeah. And so this is the time. This is the time where, as I was mentioning, it's a time where I was feeling very introspective, but we start to see now the sun itself is like, hey, I've reached the peak. Now I'm going to turn inward for a second. I'm going to take care of myself because I know there's still more to do, but I need to be well taken care of before I continue doing it. So let's talk about how Cancer shows up in nature. As I talked about in spring with Aries, we planted the seeds, Taurus rooted, Gemini connect. And now this is the time to nurture and protect the things that we've grown. Gardens are bursting with life. There's a fullness and a sweetness. And there's also this longing for home. So my friend and astrologer, Crystal Eves, she wrote her book called The Way of the Sun. And this is what she says about Cancer. In Cancer, we realize that the connections we made and the ideas we generated in Gemini require nurturing and sustenance to continue. So we retreat inward to assess our needs and to attend to that which is necessary to survive. In Cancer, we understand that in order to have branches that extend far into the world, we need to have an equally strong rooting system as support, and also as a counterbalance to the pressures and demands of our outer world. That system is beneath the surface, not necessarily visible to others. It is meant to keep us anchored and adequately supplied to ensure our future. So Cancer invites us to come back to our center, to tend to our roots, and to honor our feelings as a sacred guide. Now, as the Cancer archetype itself, it represents the inner mother. So this is where that nurturing quality, where the nurturing qualities of Cancer comes from. So if you know anybody that has a lot of Cancer qualities, you might notice that nurturing aspect of them. So the inner mother, it's the part of us that nurtures, protects, and attunes. It connects us to our sense of belonging. And at its highest expression, Cancer offers emotional intelligence, deep empathy, and an intuitive wisdom that flows from our connection to source, to the divine intelligence of our understanding. But on the shadow side of Cancer, Cancer could be a little clingy, could avoid emotional vulnerability. Or just like the crab, that Cancer, the symbol of Cancer, the shadow side of Cancer can hide behind a hard shell of an emotional armor. But at its heart, this archetype is here to teach us how to feel without fear and how to love without losing ourselves. We have a Cancer new moon very early on in the season, which is great. So we just came into Cancer season on the 20th, and on the 25th of June, we have the new moon in Cancer. And so we have like a powerful 2 days on the Wednesday and Thursday of this week. We have a powerful 2 days that will act as a reset, a time for us to step into deeper emotional honesty and set intentions of sacred self-care. So as we know, new moons are times for setting new intentions. So we begin a whole new lunar cycle. So that's where this powerful reset is. When we look at the energy of Cancer, it's all about taking care of ourselves, tending to our roots, as the blurb from Crystal's book mentioned. So at this time, and it's Wednesday and Thursday especially, we want to honor our emotions and kind of use them as our guide to help us explore who and what helps us feel at home in this world. So just be mindful, though, this is a very emotional time. So as much as we want our emotions to guide us, we also don't want to get swept away in them. When there's too much emotion, too much water, we could get swept away. So just be mindful that this time could also obscure our reality a little bit just because of the emotionality. So my invitation to you is to really stay in your body, stay connected to those areas that Cancer rules. So stay connected to your lower abdomen, that place of creation, stay connected to your gut, to really feel into your gut instincts, because your body can really tell you what is for you and what is not for you. And stay connected to your heart, because that's really going to help guide you through this time. But we want to kind of reflect on what makes us feel at home. We want to reflect on what does emotional safety feel like in our body. Kind of reflect on what kind of support do we need right now and how can we give that to ourselves first. And the most important thing that we want to reflect on is how can I nurture myself more gently this season? I know it's time, summertime, we want to get out and we want to do the hustle and bustle. Yeah, that time is coming. We've got all of Leo season to be out and joyful and expressive and social and all that stuff. Excuse me. So we want to take that time now to really take care of ourselves so that we can go out and enjoy. Like I said, we just did a lot of work. Come back home for a second. So these reflections that I offer you, take some time to reflect on them. Again, I'll share them. Where in my life do I feel most at home? Ask yourself and really feel into that. What does emotional safety feel like in my body? You're gonna have to slow down for that one so you can really feel into your body. What kind of support do I need most right now? And how can I offer that to myself first? And then how can I nurture myself more gently this season? Take some time to reflect on these questions as you start to, consider the intentions that you want to set for this time. Because um, because this is such a powerful time, because we want to be so mindful of how we are taking care of ourselves, it's really important that we slow down over these next couple of days. Yes, I said Wednesday and Thursday are going to be powerful days to set these intentions, but even if you do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever, like, really think about this, because we've got the 4 weeks while the sun is traipsing through this part of the sky. So we've got these 4 weeks to to reflect on this part of ourselves. Some intentions that you might want to include, or maybe some affirmations that you can work with a little bit while deciding what your intentions are. I create a home within myself. I honor my emotions as sacred messengers. And this one I think is going to be very helpful. I call in relationships that feel safe, soul nourishing, and true. So go out into these next couple of days, kind of reflecting on these questions to help you create your intentions for this new lunar cycle. Now, I've given you some things to think about, but we always want to bring it into our body, right? That's what somatic embodiment is all about. So here are some ways that you can embody the Cancer season. Number one, move like water. So whatever it is, whatever is your movement practice, whether it's yoga or dance or, working out at the gym, do some things that are going to help to move you fluidly. Yeah. So, like, roll your shoulders around a bit, get your spine going. So, just think of the way that water moves. Any kind of somatic fluid movement that follows your breath and sensation, this is going to be amazing at this time. Also, try to connect with water. If you live near water, go and spend some time there. Maybe put your feet into the water, take a bath, or just even drink more water. And my invitation to you is, when you're drinking your water, bless it. Say a little blessing. May this water nourish me. May this water nourish every cell in my body. Something like that. Tend to your space. As I said, Cancer is that inner mother. Cancer is a very homebody sign. So take some time to spend time in your home, clean it, rearrange it, soften it up a bit, make it a little bit more warm and inviting, a little bit more for you, so that you can feel safe and grounded and nourished in your space. Cook yourself a nourishing meal. And going back to what I said about water, by blessing your water, bless your food. And here is a prayer that I always love to say over my meals. This is something that I share when I'm hosting dinner parties, or if I'm at my retreats when we're about to have a meal. This is the prayer that I like to say. I give thanks for this meal and everyone who made it possible to be on my plate. May they be blessed as I am nourished by this meal, and may I be blessed as I am nourished by this meal. For this blessing and all blessings, I give thanks, and so it is. So share that prayer over every meal, especially during Cancer season, but anytime. It's just going to amplify the vibration of your food. And most important thing that you can do to embody the Cancer energy this season is to rest, retreat, nest, and just let yourself exhale and be. That is our episode for today, my loves. If you want to embody the rhythms of life in your daily life, then I invite you to join me in my Arise program. It's my morning somatic embodiment practice. It's a space where we start the day grounded, intentional, and in tuned to our inner knowing, so that as we go out into the world, we can show up a lot more clear, a lot more true to ourselves, and a lot more grounded and less stressed. So it's an opportunity for you to start your day with a full cup before you go out and take care of the rest of the world. And if you want to explore this work a little bit deeper, there's my somatic embodiment coaching practice, where I have 3 spots available right now. So if anybody wants to join this, I'm taking 3 more people to come along with me. So go to my website, paulgalloro.com. You can get more information there on Arise. You can also check out the Work With Me page for more information on somatic embodiment. And there's a form that you can fill out there for you to reflect a little bit on where you are and what you want to do. But it also gives me some information before we sit down and have a heart-to-heart to talk about how I can serve you in this journey. And be sure to sign up for my newsletter, also at paulgalloro.com, where you can get some inspiration. You'll also get notification when when the podcasts are released. And I also share some other cool things there as well. So check that out at paulgalloro.com. And as always, if this episode has touched you in a way, or if it made you think about something, or if you found it supportive in any way, please subscribe to it, share it with your friends if there's something that you think somebody could benefit from, and also leave a review because A, I love to know what you think of it, and B, other people would love to know what you think of it as well so that they can check it out. My loves, that is our time for today. I love you so much. I hope there was something in this episode today that served you. And I do hope that you take care of yourself during cancer season. We don't need to run. Can we just stop? We don't need to run ourselves ragged just to exist on this planet anymore. You are beautiful exactly as you are. You are gorgeous exactly as you are. And you deserve all of the care that you give to others. You deserve it for yourself as well. So, my loves, please join me as we seal our time together. I'm going to recite our prayer and then we're going to seal it by saying, "And so it is." Take a deep breath with me, please. We step into our day with love guiding our way. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, and the things we do bring more love to this planet. And our eyes and hearts are open to see and receive the love that already surrounds us and the love that is already within us. For this blessing and all blessings we give thanks. And together we say, "And so it is." I love you so much. Happy Cancer season. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Capricorn. Until then, be well.